Garage door openers. It's one of those things that just comes with the house. You don't really think much of it other than when you need to replace them. And in my case, I'm planning to replace the wall control panels to have additional functionality. Now, I was doing some research because I didn't know exactly how easy this project was going to be as a DIYer, and I've never done this before prior to moving here. And I'm going to give you a hint. It's pretty easy. Now, by upgrading these control panels, there's a couple of things I want to accomplish. The first thing I want to accomplish is to have the ability to automatically close the garage door after a certain amount of time. And that way, if you forget to close the garage door, this thing will automatically do it for you after X amount of minutes. And the second thing I wanted to accomplish is to have the lights turn on and off, which means that it has to have a motion sensor on it so that if someone is entering the room, it'll sense it, turn on the light, and then after a period of inactivity, turn off the lights, and that way you can save some energy and you don't have to worry about forgetting to turn off the garage lights. Now, I also want to do this without using the app, which means that I want to keep this off the network and also keep this off the internet. And that way, if there's any security vulnerability within the firmware of the garage door opener, I don't have to worry about it. Now, the one here on the right was the original one that came from the builders of this house, and the one here on the left was one that I've replaced, but originally both of these were the same. And as you can see, they're physically pretty similar, but you'll notice some differences. And also, I want to note that because I stay within the Chamberlain brand, the screw holes matched up, and there's actually another screw behind this, which I'll show later. But as you can see, the upgraded one has a motion sensor, which is pretty nice, and also the countdown timer that I wanted. Now, while I was doing some research, I did run into one tricky thing. On Chamberlain's site, if you go to this product, it does list a bunch of garage door openers that are compatible with this unit. But when I looked at mine, it wasn't listed there. And I was wondering, hey, is this thing universal where it's safe to just buy? But what I ended up doing was I went on the chatbot, I got a hold of one of the reps and I asked them, hey, is this unit compatible with my garage door opener? Here's my model number. And it did confirm, yes, it is. So I went ahead and bought 2 of these. So now that I confirmed that it is compatible, you just have to grab a screwdriver and head to the breaker box. Now, I want to cut power to this just to be safe. I've heard that you don't have to, but because I'm new at this, I'm going to shut off the power for this. Now, before we take this apart, it might help for you to see inside, right? So we're going to first lift the cover, take out this top screw, but you're not done yet. Behind here, you can see there's a hidden screw slot, and what you have to do is to pull up so that way it clears this notch over here and then the unit can come out. Now it looks like I might need more room, so I'm going to go ahead and take this out as well. As you can see, they use Ethernet to connect the 2 doors together, which is pretty interesting because you can color coordinate which door goes with what unit. Not quite TIA EIA 568B, but hey, it works. Let's take out the new one. We don't need the hardware here other than the control unit here. And all you have to do is to connect the 2 wires over here, and you can match them up from the original setup. So let's go ahead and do that. Now just take note of the wiring as I said before. Here you notice it'll say red, the other side says white, and obviously mine's not going to match up, but the solid orange here is going to the red, and then the orange white wire is going to the white side. Now one thing I want to point out here is that, just as a tip, it doesn't really matter, but when you hook these into the screw, you want to start from the left and hook your way up to the right, and that way when you're tightening this up, when you're twisting this to the right, you're not undoing the loop. It pulls the loop into the screw versus this way, if you did it like this installer backwards, when you turn it, it'll go the opposite way of how it's looping and it almost wants to jump out of the screw. So just a little bit of a pro tip there. Now you don't have to loosen that much, just a little bit. So just that, and this comes off, and then one more, like just a couple of turns, and then there you go. Now to replace this with the new one. And now we put both of these back. So just do the opposite, line it up with the screw hole. And then once you get the screw hole, push down on it. And same thing with this side. Turn the sensor to the on position. We want that on. Make sure it looks good. The wire is in between the notches, so that's good. Let's turn the power back on. Let's press this button to try it out. So the second button, or second time you press it, it works. We want 10 minutes of inactivity before the door closes. And to do that, you flip open this panel, you hold down the on button that's on the upper right over here. And you'll see this light up. So I want to select 10. You wait a little bit, the light just flashed, and that means it's programmed. Now the cool thing is that because I'm not replacing the garage door motor, all the remotes that you have will continue to work, including those that have the home link programmed in their cars. And there you have it. Both of these are now installed and verified to be working. I'm very happy about how the project turned out. And also, I'm very pleasantly surprised on how easy it was to set both of these up. Now, you just need to work with the screws, you got the 2 wires, and then boom, you're done. You got new features physically available here. If you got a friend over, you don't have to worry about showing them a new app and connecting to your network or anything like that. They can just do everything from this panel here. So that's one of the benefits. Also, you don't have to worry about security vulnerabilities with the firmware. These are not connecting to the web. And also the peace of mind that if you're driving away from your house and you're forgetting to close your door, that within 10 minutes, this thing will automatically close your door for you. And that way it'll minimize someone running in and stealing something from your garage. Now, with the $40 that I spent for each of them, for me, that in itself was worth it. And also, this video is not sponsored, so that's straight out of my own pocket. If you guys find this helpful, especially for those of you who are DIYers, if you're not familiar about how the wiring is set up, compatibility, etc., hopefully this video is helpful. If so, please consider liking the video and also subscribing to the channel. Also lets me know that you guys like this kind of content. With that said, that's all I have for today. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.